Rafter P Construction is the design-build contractor for all of your construction needs. Quality and customer satisfaction will always remain our top priority. The American dream has inspired the Rafter P team to push to be community leaders and support the local youth because that is our future. Let's now talk with the founder and owner, Brad Pryor.
Hey guys, today we're here to go over a project that's a cool design build horse barn that we did for 3G Performance horses, but it's actually on Kaiser Creek Ranch. And very unique customer, done a lot of work for. We're gonna exhibit some other projects down the road in other videos, or you may see in other videos from before. But more or less what we're gonna do is explain our design process, the things that the clients wanted, how it started from the very start, and what it actually ended up to be. So very cool. It's a 36 by 30, 13 foot tall with a 6-on-12, and it's got a lot of custom stuff in it to be such a small barn. 2-horse barn. In it actually has a conditioned space that is an office and a tack room. So in there, it has very cool features in it that we'll discuss as we go through the actual video. But for such a small barn, it's very custom and it's very unique to what the customer wanted. So on the tack room itself, we have some farmhouse features in it. Customer had some nice decor which complemented our actual build. 8-inch on center, or 8-inch wide planks on the lap and gap with a good nice white finish. The floors are actually reclaimed. These came off existing structures that were tore down and remilled and rekilned to become reclaimed lumber, more or less. Very cool, unique finish on the floors. We gained some custom metal hangers there for the bridles and all that good stuff. Created some, custom saddles, racks there where it complemented the space. It was just nothing off the shelf. Throughout there, you go through the actual hallway system where they have the feed and the bins here that we built to make it where it's not something off the shelf. And that's what we do in our design build features is, the customer brings us a picture, and if we can't find it, we're gonna build it. So on the walls, we got a 1x6 number 2 pine with a matte finish sealer on it. And then you see some more of the actual reclaimed lumber being used for the actual doors that were built and pressed together with epoxy with a finish on them, as well as a matte. And same thing, this was off of an existing structure that was tore down and reclaimed the lumber itself. Even the track itself, it's not something bought off the shelf. So, and then if you look off to the far corner, you see the Easy Cool fans. This was something we're not necessarily say we're an Easy Cool vendor or this is what we recommend, but this is what the client wanted. We adjusted to it. They actually have misters on it, so we plumb them for water. So when they're actually blowing, the airspace actually is moisturized to get the horse's full temperature change that it needs during the hotter part of the year. So giving the customers the unique challenges that they want their own space, we give them their space, we talk about it, we give them the square footages, and then they add their own accents to it. So this is 100% custom for their saddle pads where they air out and stuff that you see over to your right. The hangers and stuff is something we built out of big hangers or big horseshoes that actually would hang up the utility items they need to take care of their facility. And then it's something as simple as going to Home Depot and they bought them a toolbox to put all their hand tools or small items that were a little tidier to keep in that space. So when you're looking at the floor system, it is a ProTech company that actually installed it, but it is a soft step is actually what it is. And we put a sealer over this where it actually didn't go through the urine or anything like that. It would just more or less, it's kind of like a 3/4 inch buildup, but it is open composite. So what we did is put a sealer on it so they could wash it and squeegee it as needed. And this is just in the hallway itself. And the hallway is like 10 by 36. So when you look at that, it just creates a non-slip surface. It's giving the horse the optimum performance level of walking out of the stalls without slipping or falling down and getting out to the workspace. So we step into the actual stall itself. through these hinged European yokes, gates. And then when we do, we go into a what we call a horse mattress. The mattress itself it's got a pad underneath it. So for on your performance level horses that are constantly being exercised or being worked every day, they don't have the impact on their legs, which we all know one of the most important things with a horse is everything to do with their legs. This is actually called Comfort Stall, and it's made by Haygain, which is the company that we bought it from. It took us, on these stalls, they're 12 by 20, so it took every bit of 3 guys 2 days to install these, which they're very labor intense, but use a lot less shavings. The horse gets minimum impact on their legs, and it makes everything a lot better. There's not so much maintenance on your horse itself. And people in the horse business know what I'm talking about with maintenance. Like, you don't have to do injections in the hocks and all that good stuff because they're not impacting themselves on a hard mat or a concrete surface. So when you're looking at the actual stall, what we like to do is we do a 2x6 tongue and groove, number 2 pine. We do a break. I know it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but a lot of people go up 8 foot tall without a seam. But we actually know our horses and know what we want for them to longevity wise. So what we do is we actually put a break in the middle. And we keep them loose. We don't glue them together. We don't have anything slip out or break out. So when they kick it, the impact doesn't go directly on the hoof or the back of the hock. So we do up to 8 foot. We put brackets in there so they don't pop out. So when they kick an impact, they're not popping through it. So and our actual walls are made out of 2x2 square with horse channel on the vertical sides of it. So customer chose a unique feeder I haven't used before. I'm gonna zoom in on it real quick to remember the name of it because I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's High Country Plastics. It looks very safe. Customer likes it, seen in other facilities, and that's where we're unique in our design build. Is most horse customers have their own taste and have their own things they want for the horse, and we can maximize the design build to fit whatever they want for their animals through any design build project we do with particular animals. So over to our right, we're going to look at some Nelson Waters. I've been using these for over 20 years, and this particular unit right here, it has an option. It goes through both, it's a dual water, so it goes on both sides. It's got a shut-off valve down the bottom. It's got a needle valve in the top of it. And it also has a heat, which this particular water is hooked up. We put the power through the bottom. It can actually heat the water. This place is out in West Texas, so it does get some cold winters. So the water itself is heated during the winter at a certain temperature, so that you can set with the needle valve. When you look at the gel, we call them gel bars, which we don't want to talk about our horses being in gel, but what we do is on those gel bars, or the vertical bars in between the stalls, they're on 4 inches on center, and what that allows is colts or young babies, fillies to colts, whatever. If they rear up and push themselves through here on the top bars, the vertical bars, it gives them enough room to pull themselves back out. You don't want to put those too close or too far apart. You don't want their head or anything like that, but if they do rear up and want to push through at a young age, it gives them room to get back out of it without hurting themselves. So if you look at that part, and then when you scroll up, the customer was very unique in wanting they wanted something very clean, which black's hard to keep clean. But what we did was a closed cell foam on the actual roof and walls, and then they want it blacked out, so over time they could blow it off. I don't recommend washing it off, just because there is electrical stuff out there that's not sealed for moisture exposure. And if you look at the very top of it, there is some heaters in here that are electric, which is not something very common in Texas, but like I say, the customer loves their horses, want to give them every option in the world. And this actual facility actually is more built for retired performance horses. So it's just give them the comfort level after years of performing, give them the room and ability to retire and safety and relaxation. So we carried out a lot of 2x6 number 2 pine throughout the project. just to give it a good clean look. Like I say, through the process, we did a lot of drawings, but it was just, you know, I like this better, I like this look, you know, even though drawings always are so good, but also there's things along the way you want to change and make better. I'll envision this, a lot of concept visual. So things were changed on the fly, which we have the ability to do. Let's step out to the outside for a minute and kind of look at some unique stuff they did. So all of the timber on the porch and the front end wall of this building are all reclaimed, which I think is very unique because I haven't built very many horse barns, especially this size, that get to be so customized to what exactly the client wants. You know, we went from actually looking at the stone, you know, we gave the customer the ability to, all right, let's step back, let's look at the wood, let's look at the stone. They want a dry stack, which this is what this is, to the dry stack stone, to the actual reclaim, and then what tones do we actually want. And you know, they chose a little lighter colors on the actual slats for the tin, and the tin on the roof is actually a reclaimed tin as well. You can't buy this top tin off the shelf anymore. So I think that's very unique in the spacings and how it's done. And actually the columns with the horizontal members that hold the structure up, same thing, reclaim. A lot of it's old timbers. You can see the holes and the notches, and some have nails in them and stuff like that. It gives you that old Western look of, you know, back in the old timey days and the old Western towns. So pretty much this is what we're wrapping up, the features of it. And you know, this ended up being like I said, it's a 30 by 36. It's got a 10 by 36 porch on the front. The hallway itself is 10 by 36. The stalls are 12 by 20, as long as the tack room / office. So I hope this helped with closing this out and discussing this actual barn. It's one of my dream builds, even though as small as it is. Everybody wants the big stud barns, Mary motels, but I am your guy when it comes to farm and ranch and horse guy. So when you call up here and you need a project designed or built when it comes to the horse world, I am your guy. So I hope you enjoyed this video and hope it explained enough. If not, give me a call. I'd be glad to answer any questions you have, or send me a message on Facebook, Instagram, or our website. Talk to you soon.